to peeled oranges and chip paper, towels made stiff by salt water and sun. Yes, the coach smelt different now. It smelt of promise. They crawled through Clapham and Wandsworth until finally the roads cleared, and the coach picked up speed as it motored into the open countryside. Skylarks rose above fields, and the verges shimmered with bees and butterflies. At Dorking, Mrs. Winters began to stalk down the aisle handing out information leaflets about the camp. And then, in case they couldn't read, Tom supposed, she stood swaying at the front, reciting every line of the leaflet. Most of the coach passengers were travelling in civvies, but Mrs. Winters wore her uniform, the skirt a little too tight, coarse black hairs poking through her tan stockings. "There will be 4 good meals daily," she called out. "The camp is complete with a shop, shower baths and a mess marquee." Tom's mum turned wide-eyed towards his father. "A marquee, Harold?" Harold blinked his heavy lids, gave the faintest nod in response. Bea fanned herself with the leaflet as Mrs. Winters continued. "Cricket matches, rounders, quoits and badminton," she said, grabbing onto the back of a seat as the coach swerved around a sharp bend. "Punch balls for those who want to hit something, and boxing matches when 2 people want to hit each other." This caused a great laugh, and Begsy at the back cheered. Tom's insides crumpled at the mention of boxing matches and punch balls. Boxing, fencing, jiu-jitsu, all manner of sports would be laid on, and he wasn't interested in any of them. He didn't want to punch anyone or prance around with a daft sword. The enforced exercise was just the start, though. There'd be meetings, too. Speeches, lectures, patriotic songs. Damn it. He should have trusted his instincts, should have bailed out while there was still time. Chapter 2. If Charles did that thing with his jaw once more, she would have to leave the table. It was bad enough that her mother had invited him to stay yet again, but at least generally they got up late and she didn't have to breakfast with them. Now here they both were, strangely energetic for this time of day, zestful even, and every time he chewed there was a vile sound like small bones cracking. Her mother dropped a fig stalk carelessly onto the tablecloth, took a sip of tea, and turned to Hazel. "I've decided to go up to town," she said. "Charles needs to get back for urgent business, and I'd rather like a change of scene. You won't mind, will you, darling?" Hazel swallowed her mouthful too quickly, and the dry toast scraped her throat. "When are you leaving?" "We thought midday," said Francine. "But what about this afternoon?" Francine narrowed her eyes and raised a questioning shoulder. Her jade silk dressing gown clung to her skin, sinking into the dip of her collarbone. "This afternoon?" "The shopping trip. You were going to buy me some more summer things. Last year's dresses are—" She paused, feeling her cheeks colour. "You know." "Oh, darling," Francine laughed and gestured towards Hazel's bust. "Don't be bashful, of course I know. It's just rather hard for me to accept. My little girl growing into a woman." She turned to Charles and put a hand on his arm. "Honestly, Charles, if you'd seen her this time last year, she was flat as a board. Then whoosh came the monthlies, and now look." Hazel could only stare down at the toast crumbs on her plate. At Rosewood House, amongst the other girls, conversations about monthlies were had in whispers, if they were had at all. What was wrong with her mother broadcasting the subject at breakfast? Oh God, he was probably looking at her, just as Mother had suggested. Hazel hunched her shoulders and curled her spine, hoping that the evidence would somehow disappear. "She's going to be a great beauty," said Charles, "just like her mother." The mantel clock struck 9. Francine